Okay, so let's explore View 11, and I want to look on some cameras and camera properties. You notice right here on the side when you're creating, you have it cameras, main camera and top camera. To activate, you just double click and you can activate the camera. Okay, you also can just right click and select from here. So also other things what you can do, you can add additional cameras. It's help you to create multi-camera render and other effect. As well, you can create it two cameras for left and right and render stereo effect with one exception that you will need render them separately. So let's say example, we have a camera and we go to properties of our camera. It's advanced camera settings. Let's see what we have in our settings. First, of course, we have camera preview and gamma for linear workflow adjustment. So currently I disable. If you want, you can enable and use 1.8, which is View pre-default, or use a 2.1, which is standard. As well, you can apply what effect will apply to previews functions, materials, as well as control it on import or input gamma and output gamma if you have it on other materials. So I'll go to disable for now. Next, we have it aspect ratio, and this is the same can set inside the render, but this is related to the camera just settings. So you notice we have it all predefined as same as user defined, and nice things you can have it another camera with different settings. So if you want to switch very fast or render, you can go this way. Pixel aspect ratio, currently it's 1 as default for the computer. If you needed widescreen or other ones, you probably want set to the 0.92 or some other one settings. Focal length, it's reflecting lens camera as well as you can access in your object properties on top right corner right here, so it's same. Next we have it also horizontal focus of view and vertical, and this is focal view, and that is related to your point, so you cannot just modify. You'll notice your vertical will be related based on your ratios. So you have it several ways. It depends how much you want to do. For example, if I just set 55, they'll adjust this way, so they link kind of together. We have it lens abbreviation, and if you work with photography or videography, you notice the lens is not perfect, so they never create properly. With the lens, you have it offset on a color offset if you mostly work with digital because you have a different pixelization, as well distortion, and so all of this is help you to simulate and make a very accurate representation of the live lenses. Next we have a panoramic view. If you want to enable to create a 360 or a spherical, this is very useful when you start rendering HDR type images and maybe want to use it in other applications, games or photography or maybe some materials creation. So this is very nice, and because View is very accurate to render atmospheres and render lighting, this has become very useful to create truly HDR type images. Again, you have it panoramic 360 or just also spherical render. So from here you can select and modify what degrees you want to do it. Next you have it also motion blur for camera if it's enabled. Currently blur set right here, it's a little bit different blur from motion blur, but also the motion blur will enable if you're using a list settings for the broadcast or higher. If you do on a fast, you notice the motion blur disable. If you go on a broadcast right here, you can see the motion blur can be enabled, and this will relate it to how what you set on your rendering as well. Film settings, it is help you to increase exposure or decrease in natural film responding. It's some overblow and some highlights. So it's again, this is for simulations, and as usual I just keep it out default, but you can check if you want it. We also have it lens glare to simulate again the imperfection and the glare, and default is off. When you do it, you maybe want to do this in post-production. The next, speak about post-production, we have the options where you can actually correct by the color. For example, you can make just total black and white image, or you want or oversaturated. You can change hue, brightness, gain, and density. So this is over post-production that it does not affect your render, but however it will applied if you save your image after. Okay, as well right here we have a color filtering and also perspective. Okay, next on the bottom we have it post-production, and this is kind of very nice because you can apply to the backdrop on a camera on the front, so you can load it image if you need it, and some effect will, like for example right here, override atmosphere effect, you can enable or disable with this, which is kind of very useful. Overall you can load it image, you can preload it animations if you need it, and rotate as well. It can inverse, so I'm just uncheck this one. Camera manager, this is where you can create also new cameras. For example, all what you need to do, type new camera, click OK, and right here we have a new camera created, so we can go back or you can add more and more cameras as you need it. Okay, let's go click on render options, and this is going same menu as we're looking inside the render overview. So if you not yet familiar, you can check this section where we go over settings for our render menu. Okay, this is about camera management. Again, if you need modified, you can just double click to activate camera, and you notice right here we create new camera just side by side with other. All motions, animations that you apply to individual camera, they're not linking, they're not same, they're not shareable, so you can create and copy them, and as well you can share between. There are also nice things when you create animation for the camera, you can actually save, export animations, and you can preload it or you can load it in another application as well. Okay, and we will do this in our tutorials about camera motion and animation.